Everybody, welcome to another episode of What Do You Know with Joe. I'm sitting here with Andrew Hogarth. Andrew is a DJ, goes by the name Drunk Girl. I'm sure you've heard some of his stuff, but Andrew, thank you so much for joining. Did I pronounce that right? We're good to go there?
Yeah, yo, you crushed the last name. Yeah.
Score. That's good.
Great.
That's good. That's good,
Yeah.
man. Win-win. How you doing, man? How's things?
Good. I'm doing good. I've been making a lot of music.
Tight.
I started like a new side thing for my songs that I'm singing on.
Cool.
Called It's Andrew. Because that wasn't taken, and I figure it's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I'm still trying to figure out like what I want to do with the drunk girl thing. Like I make so many different types of music that
Right.
like I don't know which to like direction sometimes to go in, you know?
Yeah.
And
No, I feel you. I think, like, honestly, I'm excited you brought that up actually, because that'd be cool to like talk about. I think it kind of alluded to it. But like one of the things I definitely want to talk about was like, where you're looking to go with your music, what you're doing, and like you just kind of hinted at it too. I'm excited to talk more about that. Like, is it like, this new venture? Is it how to balance both? I think that's a lot of things also people can like relate to and understand for sure. But like, tell us about like, you know, from a young pod, what you were doing, hanging out, growing up. What was that like? And tell us about like, where you're from and kind of maybe like your early interest like music, like
yeah.
what kind of got into it.
So I grew up in Bridgewater, New Jersey, which is like right in the middle. And uh I have two brothers with autism, so that made growing up kind of interesting. They added a lot of pizzazz to my life. They're angels though. They're
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I grew up in New Jersey and I started playing guitar. You know, it's so funny. Like I wanted to, like when I was like 12, I was like, okay, like it's time. I got to get a girlfriend. Let's go. Like I'm 12 now. You know what I mean? Like, and so I was like, all right, well, ladies love guitar, right?
Of
So
course.
I got a guitar, and then like I was like, oh shit, like I actually like doing this, not just for the sake
Yeah.
of getting ladies.
There's a
But
bonus to this. Oh, Tom.
yeah, I was like, oh damn, like I actually, because at first I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll learn guitar, like it'll make me look cool. And then I was like, oh wow, like I should write my own songs. So I like when I was like 12, I got a guitar. I pretty quickly started writing my own songs because I wanted to write like funny songs. The first CD I ever got was Weird Al.
Okay.
And like
No
which
kidding.
is the kind of an odd it's weird. And I always liked like funny songs or songs that
Yeah.
incorporated some comedy aspect. So I was writing like when I was a kid, when I was like a freshman in high school, I won the talent show with this like really weird song that like looking back, it's kind of like I'm surprised I didn't get in trouble for writing it, you know what I mean? But it was like kind of funny. So the teachers were like, yeah. But I feel like it was kind of inappropriate. Yeah, and I actually thought I was gonna go to school for like graphic design because both my parents are artists, and as much as I loved like playing guitar and
Mhm.
singing, I didn't like know if that was what I wanted to like fully pursue. And then ended up like trying to go to college but failing everything. So I was like, because in my classes, I started to really get into like Ableton, the software I use, and so instead of like listening, I was like reading articles about Ableton, and so I dropped out and just started making stuff with Ableton.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you played guitar. Was there like any other like did you dabble with like piano at all, or did you like try other instruments out, or have you in your career since?
Nah, and like I should like growing up, I had a piano in my house. My brother played piano, and I never like I was always all right. Like here's actually what happened. When I started making the songs on the computer,
Mm-hmm.
like you can just click where you want the notes to be. You know what I mean? So you can literally like draw in
Damn.
something. So once I found that out, I was like, oh well, I don't
That's
really need to learn now. I can just
yeah.
go and write this on the computer. But I wish I like it would be good to learn piano. I don't know why I haven't spent the time doing it, but
Yeah.
because I write a lot for piano, like on the computer, like
Hmm.
um, everything, all my songs that I've had like piano in, like nobody played that. I just wrote that.
Damn.
So but with the guitar, it's good to know that because it's a lot of times like you can't really like recreate like a guitar without recording it. Like you can't just use some software to like play guitar for you.
Right.
Um, but yeah.
Nice, man. No, and hey, it's one of those things too where it's like, you could always learn it, and that's the beauty of music, right? It's not like it's going anywhere. You can always pick it up. So, like,
Yeah.
when did you start like playing around? Like you said, like you're using that software. When did you start like playing around with like with beats and like what was like that first thing you like remember kind of like creating?
The first thing I ever made was like or like it wasn't even like yeah, do you remember Girl Talk from
Yeah, yeah, like
like
MTV.
10 years ago? No, like he was like a DJ guy and he would make these mashups, but they were like kind of complex and like
Okay.
he would use like multiple songs of other people's to at the same time and kind of create
Hmm.
an interesting juxtaposition there. But I was kind of inspired by that and I was like, yo, I bet I could do that. I bet I could take other people's music
Yeah.
and just like put it together. And so when I was like 18 and trying to go to college, I started making mashups and I started like DJing like with this thing where you play loops, and it wasn't really like DJing because I had like a pre-figured out thing I was gonna do. So a lot of people were like, "Play this song. I want to hear my song." I'm like, dude, I don't have that song, but I got a bunch of weird shit on here. So I started, but then after I started, like a year after I started doing this, so when I was 18, I started making the mashup songs, and then I was like, wait, dude, I could just like make this song, because I'm jacking other people's music and putting it together and whatever. I was like, I bet I could make something. So when I was 19, I started like trying to make songs from scratch in Ableton. And I actually won a remix contest when I was like
Damn.
20, like right when I started too. And I listen now to this song and I'm like, how did this win? It sounds super dated. It sounds like early dubstep. It's like, but it's I don't know. These guys, Hollywood Undead. You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a remix contest, and I won $1,000. It was sick. And then I won that $1,000. I was like, all right, mom and dad, I'm moving out. It's fucking over. I made it. I
This is
made
it.
it.
I'm on this. I'm on the rocket ship up.
Yeah, and then I just spent like 5, 6 years being broke, like learning how to make music. And luckily they were there for it. They
Yeah.
most of the time I was living with them, and um they were like very understanding that like I needed to do that, like because they
Yeah.
saw me like I don't know, I have trouble like pretending to give a shit about things, like when I was going to college for IT, and I was like, dude, I do not care, like
Yeah.
I can't like pretend, like I had a math class and I actually took the same class 3 times and failed every time because I just like couldn't like pay attention, you know. So
Yeah.
I was probably partying a little too hard too, but
Hey, that's kind of like
you,
that's
you
what you
live and you
do at
learn.
college. And my wife and
Yeah.
I talk about all the time. Like, there's times where you think about it, you're like, man, like that, especially like early on, you're like, there's no responsibility other than just having a good time,
Yeah.
learning, exploring. Like, there is just like, that's what you do it there for. And
Yeah.
I can't, I definitely agree. I think there were times where like I probably, especially early on in my college career, probably should have been like, I either decide like if I'm like settle down focusing or like what I'm doing because like this is I could be out of here if I don't learn my
Yeah.
cards right and stuff. But man, so like when did you do like maybe like your first set or like when did you ever like especially making that jump like and like learning about music and like once you kind of picked up some things like did you do like were you just going to like local clubs and places nearby or like how did you make that jump like when we're like all right now that I've kind of learned more about this what's my next move.
Yeah, it started out at like frat parties and stuff. And
Good.
then
Hey, yeah.
eventually when I turned 21, I was like, okay, I should like try to play in bars. And then I was playing at this bar a lot in New Brunswick, and I played like little shows here and there. You know, uh, but I kind of like I used to DJ a lot. I haven't DJed in like 3 or 4 years. Because I just kind of stopped liking it. Like
Yeah.
it's fun in the beginning, like when you're learning how to do it. But then for me, like after I figured out everything I needed to do to play my music for people, I was like, okay, well, I stand up here, I play this, and then like, what do I do for 3 minutes? You know what I mean? I'm just sitting there
Yeah.
waiting, you know? And with the, I always felt like when I would play with bands and stuff, because I was, you know, growing up, I was in bands. I was in a
Hmm.
band like 5 years ago. And with them, like, when I play guitar and I sing all the songs, and then afterwards I'm like, nice, like that was difficult. I did a good job. Like
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself. But then after DJing, I'd be like, well, that wasn't like not to downplay what people do because a lot of people are like real good at it, but like it just felt like it wasn't as satisfying for me.
Yeah.
Like it didn't like make me feel like super proud.
Hmm.
And that's what's also been kind of confusing with the like I like making dance music, but I'm not really trying to be Mr. DJ guy, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
yeah, it's that time in your career, you're like, I'm trying to pivot, or like, it's not what I want to do anymore, which is it's gonna happen. And people do that every day in their aspect, whether what kind of careers they're doing. They realize that that's just not gonna lead them to what they want to do for for the foreseeable future. So I totally get that for sure.
yeah. I also feel like when like with the DJing, especially with like electronic music stuff, I feel like the audience is less connected with the music and they're just like there to party. And well, you know, I noticed that like I like more intimate shows with like playing songs
Yeah,
or singing or whatever. And people are like fully connected and like to the
right, right,
experience.
right. There's that cinematic
Um,
stuff going on as well.
yeah, yeah, and but I had a lot of fun when I was growing up. I really wanted to like be like full-time DJ thing. But uh, I was never as good at the business side of things as I was at the like just making beats in my room.
Right, right, right.
So I probably could have gotten like better gigs if I like went after it more, but I was just kind of I just want to be in my room making beats, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's why you do it. Like the other
Yeah.
stuff is like, kind of the like side stuff to it. But like like, because I want to learn more about like what you're trying to do with new music and like maybe like, new artists you're working with, things like that. But I do have a question just because like this is how I found out about you and like learn about your music and then learn more. It's like just like following down like what you have out there. And so like you made it, for those who don't know and don't listen, "Don't Stop the Party," but was arguably one of the best, if not the best song in Rocket League. But also, once I heard that song, immediately I turned to like my buddies when we were like playing. I was like, "Do we know what song this is? Like, do we know? Like, all right, like, has anyone actually ever like looked this up? Because like, I will listen, especially like you said early on in college. Like, this is perfect for like, to your point, like, you're partying, you're pre-gaming, but like it's actually like a really good song. And so like we start playing it and like more and more people are like, hey man, like I recognize that song. Or like, when like where'd you get that song from? I was like, have you ever played Rocket? Like they made the connection. So like can you tell us like just like a little bit, like not too much, like that story, like how that all kind of got created, and then like I don't know how it kind of landed at Rocket League, or like what that part of like your like what that journey was like.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even know what Rocket League was, honestly.
I was gonna ask, have you ever like played it or anything?
I played it once and I was awful. I'm not a gamer. I'm so bad, dude. And that game especially is
Oh
hard,
yeah,
bro.
it's
I'm like
crazy.
thinking like, oh, I'm going in like I got this, bro. This looks easy. No, it's not.
And then some kid will come off the ceiling just turning all the way
Yeah,
down.
just doing some crazy. I'm like, dude, I can't even figure out how to go.
Exactly right.
Um, but yeah, so I had a friend who I'm still best friends with this kid. My friend Matt Pullman, he really liked my song. Where me and Deanna made it, and I was showing uh Matt this, and he sent it to, he like loved Rocket League, and he was like, bro, this song should be in Rocket League. I was like, okay, whatever. Like he was like, can I send this to this guy? I found this guy's email address, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I was kind of not like, I was all spaced out at the time. And so I was like, yeah, sure. And then this guy emails me and he's like, hey, I listen to your song. I like it. I want to put in my game. I was like, all right, no problem. And then like the game came out, and like the first day it got thousands and thousands of plays. Like I was not expecting, because I didn't know what Rock League was. I didn't know
Yeah.
how many people played it. I'm so out of touch with like games
Yeah.
and shit like that. So you know, it was epic. And yeah, it got it. It's funny. I worked with this guy. I was working at this music store, and this guy there he had just started, and I was like, so what are you into? Like, what kind of shit do you do?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh well, I'm a commentator for Rocket League games. And I was like, oh bro, do you happen to know this song that was in Rocket League? And I told him my song. And he goes, yeah, bro, I fucking love that song. And I was like, oh, I made that. And he was like, no way, bro. No. And it like blew his
Well,
mind.
this is mine. He's like, this is the
Yeah,
best day
his
I'll
name
ever
is
have.
Elliot. Shout out Elliot. He was the man. And he like was just mind blown that he like worked with this. You know, he like, it's funny when I meet people that have heard my music but don't know me.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like real weird. It's cool.
Right, you put like you can see them like put it together, but that's hysterical.
Yeah.
He's like that's the peak best day of work he'll ever have. Like
Yeah.
that's like he'll look back and he'll be like nothing beats that day. Like that's the peak
Yeah.
for him. So like
Yeah.
that's awesome. And like my boys Kai and Jay are definitely gonna and anyone who my boys who play that game or whoever's played, they're definitely gonna be like that's sick because like it's just a cool story to hear. And like you said, like when
Well,
you
dude,
play
I get the nicest comments on that song.
it is
Like
it
all
is
these
yeah
kids are like, yeah, and now it's old. I mean, it came out in
yeah
2016, and I get these kids like, oh, I used to play this with my dad, and then my dad died. I'm like, oh, my God,
right. That's the
bro,
sweetest.
it's so like it's the sweetest
That's the
shit, and
sweetest
I'm
thing.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so that's really nice that it got
Yeah.
so much exposure from that. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
Again, just again for if we haven't already said quality song, job well done.
Thank you, bro.
Um,
Thank you.
so like you mentioned kind of what you're doing now with music, right? Like
Mm.
tell us a little bit more about that, what you kind of been working on. You know, what like, you know, it's exciting to hear, right? Because like it's a lot of the times like new music, new style music, you're seeing it actually in today's like music industry for sure. People trying new stuff. And again, it's just what musicians do to continue to grow. So tell us a little about that and you know what you've been working on.
Yeah. Well, I always thought of myself as more of a producer than like a singer. Um, but I do sing, so I don't know
Mhm.
why I didn't start singing on my songs earlier, but I've been singing on my most recent stuff. And the reason I wanted to start another project for that kind of stuff is because I don't want it to be confusing. Like a lot of my drunk girl songs, like my name's on it, but
Yeah.
all I did was I made the instrumental or I made the beat, and my voice isn't on it or whatever. So I don't want it to be confusing. Like,
Yeah.
what did this dude do on this song? You know, so that's why with the new project, I want it to be all like songs that I'm doing everything, or like most of, you know, like I'm
Right.
making the beat and singing on it. Cause like I'm real proud of that stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
I love collaborating with my friends, but it's like extra nice when I sing on something and people are like, yo, I really like that song. Like, cause it's like more meaningful to me, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I can put some words on it. And I always love writing songs. Like I do it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun. I just yeah. Yeah. And usually it's like when something terrible happens, I write a song.
Oh,
It's like
hey,
it's
music comes from anywhere though. I
yeah.
mean, you know.
Yeah. No, it's like a great outlet for me because like I just take my little bullshit and I kind of package it in a
Yeah.
nice little memory I got there.
I
Um
think it's something, and I think anyone who's been listening to this interview in the past couple minutes and they get it. I think it's awesome the energy and like authenticness you bring to what you do. I think anyone who's listened to this can kind of hear that. You know, you're you're bringing exactly like your emotions and your feelings to things and your confidence to what you do. And I think compared to like I've talked to a lot of great folks, and I think you honestly, man, you stick out in the sense that like you're very genuine and authentic to you know how you feel about your craft, and it definitely comes through, man. So I
that's
appreciate that,
awesome.
and I think a lot of people will recognize that too. And I especially on that last one, it definitely hit because like it rarely do you meet someone that kind of like what like they love what they do, but like the way you talk about it, I think it sticks out to me a little bit more.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think like my biggest goal with the music is to like make someone feel something, whether it's like happy or sad
Hmm.
or emotional or something. So I don't really like and the other thing is like I'm a bad bullshitter. Like I can't lie to anyone. So I tend to be pretty straight up about it. But I I try to like approach it with a pure intention of just like maybe helping someone relate to something. I think the biggest thing I think about when I'm making a song is like um I hope someone will be able to hear this and like find a piece of themselves in it, you know? And
Sure.
so it's really like satisfying for me. And oh, one thing here's a little tidbit. Here's a fun little tidbit. I had this song with my old band that I wrote, and it was like a love song. It was like a love song about a girl I was with, um and my friend who like I had partied a lot with, he was like, did you write this song about drugs? And I was like, no, but I'm so glad you like took it that way, because like he like took it his own,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
applied to
You know,
him in that
it was
sense.
like subjective in that aspect. Like he could.
Yeah, so like even
Yeah.
though it's about a girl, it's like he took it in some other way that was
Right.
relatable to him.
Right.
So like I don't even care if you're understanding what I was saying, as long as you can pick out pieces of it that like you can relate
Yeah.
to. It's nice.
Oh man, no, that's cool. And like to that point about your career, I think especially like in this new one, maybe you've experienced it more recently or something in the past, but like what's definitely been like a hurdle in your career that sticks out that like, maybe was something you weren't expecting or like something that like has, caused you to think back and like also like in the same way kind of progress in your career.
Definitely making too many types of stuff.
Okay.
Like it's I have a lot of listeners. I have a pretty good amount of monthly
Yeah.
listeners on Spotify, but I don't have a lot of followers. And I think it's because, I have so many different types of music. People almost don't know how to become a fan of that when it's like so spread across, like when you hear a guy on Spotify and you click his top song and you're like, oh, this slaps. And then you listen to like his top 5 songs and you're like, oh,
Hmm.
like all his stuff sounds the same, but it all kind of bangs. You're like more apt to become a follower because you're like, I know what to expect.
Yeah.
I know this guy's gonna put out banger after banger.
Hmm.
Whereas me, like I've put out like so many I put out rock songs and
Yeah.
hip hop songs and EDM songs, and I have songs that I'm rapping on, which like they're super
I
slept
didn't
on,
know
but
that.
they're in there. There, if you scroll like deep, there's one called "Calling Out Sick," and it's like really funny. It's like a joke rap song, but for years I would just put out random stuff
Hmm.
that I made, and I make all types of stuff. But I think that wasn't very conducive to like growing a following,
Okay.
you know.
That's a
Um,
perspective for sure.
but either way, I'm glad I'm honest about it.
Yeah. That's what I
And
was
I think
thinking.
that people that get like blow up off a certain genre and they're making like one specific type of thing. It's like they kind of get shoehorned into like always doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whereas like me,
Exactly.
like people don't really have expectations of me, and so sometimes that is good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly. You're not fit into like this silo of like, okay, this is what it like to your point, it is like a double-edged sword in the sense of like I know what to expect, I'll follow them, but like that's kind of like a silo you're put into of like expectation. Like people will be like, you can really maybe like you can only make this kind of music where like you said,
yeah,
like kind of gives you an opportunity to be flexible slash say like, no, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. You can be open with it. And kind of
yeah,
like you're trying to like you said, you're starting to see some people do that in the industry, but like it's still hard to break, I feel like. But yeah,
yeah.
no, like kind of like around music or like and it's totally cool if it is too, but like outside of music, what do you do to, what kind of interests you? What do you like to do outside of music? I know, especially I feel like it's a big part of your life and that's where you garner a lot of your ideas. Like, what are some of those things that you do to do that?
So I'm pretty like I'm not gonna lie, I don't have that many hobbies. I like usually if I'm bored, I'll just play guitar. I'm pretty one dimensional.
Cool.
But I have been going to the gym,
Nice.
trying to get swole for my wedding.
Oh,
I'm
congrats! When's
getting
the
like
wedding?
married. I'm like we're technically already married, but like we're having a like a wedding, like
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
now I'm on her insurance, so hell yeah. She got sick
I was
insurance.
gonna say this kid's about to go get some free, fysicals, get some tests
Yeah,
done.
dude. Yeah, yo, my therapy is free. It's awesome, dude. It's sick. But no, yeah, my wife is beautiful. She's a wonderful person.
Awesome, man.
And uh, wait, what was I talking about?
We were talking about marriage, your wife, and something outside of work, outside of your interests.
Oh yeah, so she got me into rock climbing,
Oh,
and dude, I am like not it's like at a rock climbing gym, and you climb up this,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
little hole, and because dude, I do not do anything physical. I like
That's a
my
big one to
favorite thing
jump
is
into.
napping. So she got me into this, and like I
Yeah.
actually like it. I'm also terrified of heights, but for some reason, like because there's like a pad on the bottom, I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, this is like if I
Right.
fall, like I'll just kind of bounce around.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No,
So that's a new hobby I got.
that's a fun one.
So
Also,
yeah,
that's a real fun one because
yeah,
also, like you said, from going from like just nothing to rock climbing, that's a big jump, man. That's a big.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's my because she's very active, and she
Mhm.
she got me to go bike riding. I got a bike now.
There you go.
She's like getting me into all this healthy stuff, which is
Which is, you're like, hey, it's good. I guess
it's good.
it's
It's
good.
good. I'm
Gonna make me
glad
feel
it's not
better.
the other way around.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly. Dude, that's awesome.
yeah.
But like anything that like especially like that you do outside of music or like something you're a part of that you wish people knew, like is there anything like that or important to you that you want to share that like kind of like either raises awareness or brings light to something that like that either people don't know about or just that you're just very passionate about.
Wow, that's a good question.
It can
I
and I throw you the curveball right after this too.
I
So like it's
I am I guess I'm pretty good at drawing.
cool.
I like I said I was gonna go to school for that, and then kind of like got sidetracked with the music, but
Hmm.
um my parents are really really good artists. My dad has a website that I made for him, charleshogarth.com. So if you want to check out
Yo, I'm
his
about to
art,
hit that up real quick. Hang on, Charles
yeah,
Hogarth.com.
yeah, dude. His if you click on his Christmas card section, all right. So hold on, I gotta talk about my dad for a second.
Of
Every
course.
year, my dad makes like a hand painted Christmas card
Oh
for
my
like
god, look at
all
these.
our family and everything. They're kind of inappropriate. The later
They're
ones are
hysterical.
kind of like yeah. And he sends this to like our family and like all his friends. Some of them are kind of edgy, and like as he's gotten older, like every year has gotten more and more like edgy, which I love for him. I'm so
They're
glad he's
hysterical.
yeah. And
Oh,
but
sorry guys. I'm just looking at. They're hysterical. Those are good.
yeah, he's really talented.
Hmm.
But yeah, he makes these Christmas cards every year for our family, and like, he actually I had like a book made of all his like 30 years
That's
of
awesome.
Christmas card. Yeah, there and my mom too. She does all this crafty stuff. Like, and my parents are getting old now. My mom like, she's like 65,
Hmm.
and she is so much more active than I am. Dude, like I call her, she's like, I can't talk. I'm at the gym. I'm like, dude, and
I
then
guess
and
I
then, and
should
then I'll
go.
call then she's at the store. She's picking up my brothers. She's like all over the place. And then I was like, hey, you want to get together? She's like, oh, I'm busy this week. I'm like, what? How are you busier than I
I
am?
was about to say, right? I'm making time. Also, dang,
Yeah.
I gotta let me know when I can get on that calendar, mom. That's
Yeah.
crazy, dude. Oh my
Pencil
god.
me in.
Right, that's right. If whenever you
Yeah.
get a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's cool, man. No, yeah, I definitely low key the art of the Christmas card, the artificial one. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
artificial this year. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get that for someone this upcoming year. I'm gonna definitely say that. That's a funny one.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
good. Oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Oh man, well, dude, you've been a great guest. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been a lot of fun. I think we learned a lot. I think one thing I've learned, especially because you're so authentic to it, like as you keep putting stuff into it, I'm sure the music that you're producing and singing on is going to be awesome. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate you sharing all that and sharing your come up with us. Last question, like I said, it's complete curveball to everything else, but I've dude, I've asked this question to people that I never thought I'd even ask this question to, and it's just fun to hear responses. It's wild. But so I also like have had like I've explained it to people, and just because they either haven't seen it or they're just it's just they don't watch movies or whatever the case is, this is kind of like how I map it out. So just to kind of give you the picture. Um, First part, have you ever seen the movie Step Brothers? Have you seen Step Brothers?
Oh yes, dude. Of
Okay, okay.
course.
So when Dale and Brennan go to that schoolyard, and like Chris Kardashian and those kids are like upset with them, or like they're gonna like they're already gonna like fuck with them. So like in that kind of situation, if they were like coming at you, how many fifth graders do you think you could take on before they kind of like overpower you? And you're like, because like to your point, I like fifth graders today are just
They're
built
big.
when we were growing up, like now they're getting recruited by like football schools. So like it's crazy. So like I think like it definitely I'd love to hear it gives me some insight depending on how many like you think you could take, because I've again like I said I've heard a wide range. I've heard all over from people who I wouldn't think I'd get this kind of answer from, but would love to know where you land on
How
this.
many fifth graders I could take on?
Yeah.
I'm not strong, bro. I'm like if like here is like frail, I'm like right there, right there. I even going to the gym, like I feel myself getting stronger. I look better in the
That's
mirror,
good.
but I still probably 3 or 4 of them, dude.
I respect that. It's
Probably three or
great
four.
answer.
Because like if there's
Great
like
answer.
6 kids, I got kids on the back of my head. You know what I mean? They're coming at me from all sides.
They're
I'd
coming.
say I could fend off more like 3. Honestly, these kids are probably stronger than I am.
Dude, it's crazy. Like a pre-pubescent fifth grader, he's got a different kind of strength. Will take you down, and like they're just built bigger now. I don't know what happened. My wife, she's an elementary school teacher, and she was doing fourth graders, and even these kids, some of them, I was like, this is impressive. Like,
It's the microplastics.
yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. I was impressed. I was like, I couldn't take that. I was like, if he came at me, it would take a good amount of stamina. I'd be in the world of hurt for sure. But thank you for answering that, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
dude,
It's
of
always
course.
fun to ask everyone just you see what they want. It also is completely different to everything we talk
It's a
about.
good one.
I've always like I've asked that question to people. I always ask it after like I ask people to raise awareness to things. So like we'll talk about touching stuff or things that are close to people. I'll be like, all right, then now last question. How many fifth graders can you fight? And it's like interesting position next to each other, but it's always fun.
It's a great one.
Before I let you go or anything like that, is there anything else you wanted to share or anything else we can look forward to or hop on train for? And then so like you're thinking, I can't believe I didn't ask this before. You're thinking about pivoting from like drunk where you just go by like Andrew Hogarth music or like what?
No, I named it literally. It's Andrew. Like
Andrew, it's Andrew. You said that in the beginning.
ITS, yeah, like IT, like spelled out like ITS Andrew. I guess that is confusing to explain. Like people be like, "What do you go by?" I'll be like, "It's Andrew."
That's kind of
And then
like it's almost like what's your name? It's Andrew. So like it
yeah,
works.
literally,
It works.
it's Andrew.
That's perfect. Okay.
But yeah, yeah, I'm on Instagram as it's Andrew.music,
Cool.
and yeah, I would say follow me on there. I'm planning on releasing a bunch of stuff this year under that.
Awesome.
So and on the drunk girl too. I got to figure out where I'm gonna go with that.
Hey,
But
we got time.
It's coming.
Yeah, right. We got time. It's all good.
Yeah.
But dude, thank you so much for joining. You're a fan. You're a friend of the show now. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Of course, man. Absolutely, no problem. Well, dude, I'll let you go. Again, had a really good time. Learned a lot, and appreciate you just being authentic and yourself.
Yeah, it was great talking to you, man. All right, bro.